What did you hear growing up about what went down in Las Vegas, the night that Tupac was shot?
Well, growing up, like from the outside looking in, before I actually realized it was, before I got older, I just heard that there was a altercation to where Tupac and his entourage spotted one of my older homies who's resting in peace right now. And they, said that he was involved at the Lakewood Mall situation. So when they spotted him at the casino, they proceeded to, jump him, pack him out. And then from there, allegedly, they said that my homies retaliated by doing what they did.
Right. And that was when Orlando Anderson got jumped at the MGM.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what you heard growing up. But did you ever ask any more pointed questions about it from people or hear more about it?
I mean, I asked certain questions, and then, some people give me their theory on certain things, but never nothing like to where you have to be part of that media circle at that time to actually know the behind the scenes details of everything that was happening. But for me, I just only know like the outside looking in.
What I heard was that Orlando Anderson ended up with just a kind of a reputation in Compton um, as being the guy, right? Like that just became kind of the legend around him.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. He lived up to everything you heard. He lived up to that. He was a legend. He was well respected. He was about his money, and he was just about like spreading the love to everybody in the neighborhood.
And what went down when afterwards? I know there was a big gang war in Compton between the Pirus and the Southside and some other gangs they were all kind of affiliated with. What did you hear about that?
Well, I was as a kid, I was able to see a little bit, experience a little bit of that because during that time there was a lot of shooting, to the point to where my grandmas made us stay in the house. But yeah, there was a lot of East Side Piru affiliations clicking up, and then there was the Compton Crips on the East Side that decided to like join and help the South Sides out in that deep. But there was a lot. It was a lot of bloodshed during that aftermath.
So you felt it even as a kid. Something's going on.
Yeah, yeah.
Something. It's not
I didn't
normal.
see. No, it's really not.
We, the homies, everybody had a meeting, said, got down together, and well, we know who did it. We know Southside did it. Now retaliation is Southside. We decided basically it's on. They just killed Tupac.
Yeah, it was that bad. I remember one time my grandma was coming home from a meeting and we was all in the living room. I think I was probably like 7 at the time, and it was me and my little sister. We was all in the living room, and then the shooting happened right next door. And we all got down, and when we went outside, we saw somebody shot on the next door neighbor's drive. So yeah, it was a lot going on.
What was it like growing up, like in that neighborhood?
Aside from the shooting and stuff, I mean, as a kid, I did things kids do, you know what I'm saying? Like, but when I got older, growing up over there, it's kind of hectic, you know what I'm saying? Because that being over there from that hood, we're like the most hated. We're the most hated in Compton, and then on top of the situation with Tupac and them, that kind of added to the fire. And so it's like you always got to keep your head on the swivel over there because like any second you liable to get shot and killed over there. So it's like it was kind of rough. It was kind of rough, traumatic at the same time.
Just in general, like if you had been Orlando Anderson and that what happened to him at the MGM Grand, it happened to you. If you got jumped on by a rapper, a studio gangster, and some of your rivals, what would a typical gang member like Orlando Anderson? What would the response be to that?
For him being who he is, the response would be on high alert.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever you can get from that, the response will be it'll be a high alert response. I mean, because of who he is and the weight that he carries, that was pretty. I mean, I'm not talking about the actual shooting. I mean, you want to lead to nobody's death, but a retaliation was inevitable.
Yeah, I talked to Mob James about it, and he said that they thought there would be trouble at the club that night. That's just what they figured. There'd be a fight or something.
Yeah, it was gonna happen. I mean, it was gonna be some type of trouble, however you look at it, because like I said, that person that they jumped, that's not just a nobody. He's somebody. You know what I'm saying? He carries a lot of weight. He has a lot of love and respect. So eventually, if it didn't end the way it ended, it was going to end in a whole different type of way.
Afterwards, when you guys are rolling,
we went and parked the car by the carriage house. It's a parking lot on the opposite side of the carriage house. We left the car there and put the gun on the tire and left.
On the tire, front wheel tire, back tire, what?
Front tire.
He said that after Tupac was shot and, they ditched the Cadillac in a parking lot there off the strip. He said they put the gun on the front tire of the car and left. Do you know what the thinking is from a street perspective on doing that?
I mean, that's kind of normal in the street.
Why is that? Why you put the gun on the tire? Why? So it's not in the car, so they
I
can't
mean,
prove.
because it might be for two different reasons. For one reason, we might be hanging out by the car instead of having a gun on us. We'd like put the gun on the tire of a car that we're hanging next to. Instead, so when the police pull up, they're not going to think to go search these two cars that don't belong to us. The gun being on the tire is kind of like a way to hide, to hide it from the police.